Hey, how's it going, guys? This is the Bald Metal Nerd, and I just couldn't resist making a video about this. I'm, of course, if you looked at the title, which I'm sure you did, this video is about the wonderful election that we just had. And here is my official reaction to pretty much all aspects of the um, election. It's a little bit of this and a little bit of this. Let me explain. I'm going to start off with talking about my personal take on Donald Trump and why he won. Um, Personally, I'm not happy that he won. I'm certainly not crying or what's the word I'm looking for? I'm not throwing any sort of a fit because he won. Am I happy about it? No. But honestly, I would not have been happy with Hillary Clinton either. I would have been disappointed. Either way this went, I knew I would be disappointed in the outcome. Um, I will say things that I think are positive about Donald Trump. Um, One thing that I think is very positive about Donald Trump is he seems to have zero interest in basically saber rattling with Russia. Hillary Clinton was big into the whole Syrian no-fly zone. If she had really pursued that, that would have led to war with Russia. And that would be suicide. Maybe not suicide for us, but it would be exceedingly bad to go to war with Russia. Trump seems somewhat, at least seems, less of a war hawk than Hillary. He seems more just focused on letting the international community take, more participation or more of leading the war against terror, and I am a-okay with that. I have to say that I definitely prefer that approach to we need to enforce these no-fly zones and all this other bullshit that Hillary was pushing. So that is one real positive thing I'll say for Trump. Another thing that I'm going to say positive for Trump is I think he has some decent ideas on trade and a few things on the economy. We'll see. And I think that's really all I have to say that I really think is positive about Trump. Negative is almost everything else. One of the big things that comes off the top of my head is he said, he believes that climate change is a hoax invented by the Chinese. He plans on ripping up the Paris climate agreements. All this crazy shit. Horrible. That's absolutely horrible idea. Can't get behind that at all. His VP pick, Mike Pence, not a fan. A right-wing, ultra-religious conservative guy. Nope. That doesn't jibe well with me either. And a lot of the horrendous things that Trump has said, like he's made comments, of course, about wanting to date his daughters. That's disgusting. He made fun of disabled people. Also not cool, and just a whole other host of things. The whole grab them by the pussy thing, yeah, I'm pretty neutral on that. But a lot of the other horrendous shit that he said, yeah, I really don't think he's suitable to be president. And that he declared he's not exactly what I would call. I mean, a lot of people are like, oh, he's such a great businessman. Declared bankruptcy like 9 times on the businesses. I don't know. He doesn't strike me as a brilliant businessman, but whatever. I that's neither here nor there. I'm not. This video isn't really meant to bash Trump, as it were. I'm not. That's not what this is about. I just kind of wanted to give my own take on my personal opinion of Trump that way. The rest of the video, you're not like, oh my gosh, you're a no. I'm not real. I'm not a Trump supporter. And I think the reason Trump won is because the way he presented himself versus Hillary Clinton. He presented himself as the anti-establishment candidate, the outsider who could, he actually had an uplifting message, make America great again. That is actually an uplifting message. And he presented some cases to the American people who have been hurting for 20, 30 years, who feel left behind, trying to appeal to those people. Now, do I think really that he gives a shit about any of? Yeah, that's yeah. I don't really think he believes a lot of the rhetoric that he's spitting out, but whatever. I don't trust. But on the flip side, now I'm going to talk about the other main candidate, Hillary Clinton. Here is why Hillary Clinton lost. Hillary Clinton lost because she was the ultimate establishment candidate. Not charismatic, really at all. Highly unlikable. She, and then of course there were the email leaks where she actively conspired with the DNC against Bernie Sanders in the primary. And she has, and you don't really, people don't want to, a lot of people don't want to elect the, a person who has all these investigations regarding email and national security. Worst possible candidate the Democrats could have put up. I mean, absolutely terrible. In a lot of ways, I think the Democratic establishment got exactly what they deserved. They thought to themselves, hey, we really want Hillary. I mean, they conspired with Hillary. It was because all of the special interests and all of the corporations, they wanted Hillary. Goddamn, by hook or by crook, they would get Hillary as the nominee. They conspired. They succeeded. Hillary was the nominee, and then they lost horribly. Congratulations, guys. You got exactly what you wanted. And frankly, in this case, I think you got what you deserved. And what's interesting is I know a lot of Trump supporters. And pretty much all of them, because obviously they know I'm not a Trump supporter. We have discussions about it. And they know I was a Bernie Sanders supporter for the primaries. And they said, if Bernie had gotten the nomination, he would have won. No shit. Bernie didn't have really the controversies surrounding him that Donald Trump had. Or, I'm sorry, not Donald Trump. Hillary Clinton had. He didn't have all these scandals. He didn't have Benghazi. He didn't have the email scandals. He didn't have. I'm sorry, I can't think of all of them off the top of my head, but Hillary Clinton had scandal after scandal after scandal, and of course she was completely owned and bought for by the elites. No charisma. Nobody liked her. So of course, Bernie Sanders was a million times better of a candidate than Hillary. Duh. And I think if he had been the nominee, we'd be talking about a President Sanders instead of a President Trump. Such is life. Which brings me to the other side of this. I've heard about a lot of people's reaction to Trump's presidency. And all I can say is grow the fuck up. A lot of conservatives call liberal people libtards. And honestly, right now you're kind of proving them right by, protesting in various cities around the U.S., blocking traffic, causing, basically really disrupting daily life. If you do that, people aren't going to rally to your cause. It's the same issue Black Lives Matter has. If you cause disruption to daily life, people aren't going to think to themselves, oh, you know what? I feel so bad for you guys. I think, definitely I can. No, they're going to be fucking pissed off and think, those stupid assholes are blocking traffic and disrupting my daily life. Fuck them. Same thing, with the riots. I know there are riots going on in different places around the country. Fucking shit up, destroying property. That's a real constructive way to make your fucking point. And then of course, you just have the people who aren't doing those things, but they're like, sitting around there, they're like making these videos where they're like, oh my God, I can't believe Trump won. I'm gonna kill myself. I can't believe it. I can't. Fucking relax, guys. Acting like it's the end of the fucking world. And then, of course, blaming everybody else. I've read articles written by, quote, professionals where folks blamed third-party voters and non-voters. They're like, they basically said fuck you to people who voted for third party or just didn't vote. They're like, well, you're part of the reason Trump got elected. As a third party voter, I take great offense to that. I did not vote for Donald Trump. I had nothing to do with him winning. Uh, just because I did not vote for Hillary Clinton does not mean that I contributed to Trump winning. So, to people who say that, my reaction is right back at you guys. You know, and people who just accuse all Trump supporters of being evil, right? In some way, people will say, "Oh, well, Trump supporters are racist or misogynist, or they endorse this or they endorse that." No, most people who voted for Trump did. Was there a tiny subset of the population who maybe voted for Trump because of some of the racist things that he said? Sure. I'm sure they exist. They're out there. I mean, we know that this is a fact. There are stories where, white nationalists or whatever said, "Oh, it's a great thing that Trump won," or blah blah blah. Trump's a great So yes, racists do endorse him, but I'd say as far as a overall proportion of Trump supporters, I would say that's a very fringe faction of them. I would not even pretend to think that that makes up the majority of Trump supporters. I'd say the extreme vast majority of Trump supporters are just average people, not evil in any real way, by the way, guys. Just average people who are completely fed up with the political establishment, and they believe Trump is going to shake things up and maybe improve things for them. I think that is why almost all of the Trump supporters voted for Trump. I don't think there was any quote, and I think they voted for him in spite of his more horrendous things that he's said and done. You know, and because a good example is I actually spoke to my mother recently, and she was telling me about, because my mom is, a liberal. Obviously, she was hoping for Hillary to win, and she was talking about some woman who she interacted with, and she called this woman a horrendous piece of filth simply because she supported Trump. I'm thinking to myself, yeah, that's really a good way of framing the other side. Everybody who supports the other side is a horrendous piece of filth. I said, that makes you look like a stupid, closed-minded fool. Okay? It really gives credence to people thinking. I said, this is why people don't, this is how a lot of liberals get a bad reputation, by being very smug and elite. Don't do that. I said, and I said, well, what happened? Why do you think this woman? She's like, well, I said to this woman, Donald Trump made fun of handicapped people. Why do you think it's okay to make fun of handicapped people? Like, right there is what you did wrong. You framed the question. You're framing the question like this woman supports making fun of disabled people. Maybe she didn't like that Trump said that. You should have said, hey, Trump made fun of disabled people. That really bothered me. What do you think about it? That would be a much more diplomatic way of framing the question than lumping this random woman in with, just saying that she supports making fun of disabled people or whatever. I mean, give me a fucking break, right? But then again, I'm not saying that a lot of conservatives don't make a lot of stupid arguments. They do. I was actually discussing the election recently with a random Trump supporter in line at Walmart, because when you're in a long line at Walmart and you're bored, talk to somebody, right? And we were talking, and I told this person that I supported Bernie Sanders, and she's like, "Oh, well, he's a socialist." I said, and then I tried to explain democratic socialism a little bit. It's like, well, that's like Venezuela, and basically, here's my reaction to that. Yes, extreme socialism is like that, but democratic socialism is more like the Netherlands. Think of Denmark, Sweden, Scandinavia, right? That's more what Bernie Sanders was arguing for. And frankly, I think we could use some of that in this country. Do I think we need to go as far as they do? No. But I think some of that stuff over here wouldn't be a bad thing. Yeah, Venezuela, of course not. That's ridiculous. Total government control of major industry or total government control of a lot of things, bad idea. But having some, I hate to use the term, but some socialism, I don't think, some, depends on what it is exactly and how it's implemented and all that, may not be so bad. Just my personal opinion, I know. I'm just an idiot. But the point is, I think on either side, if you equate things that shouldn't be equated to each other, you're just not a very intelligent person. Anyway, that's pretty much going to wrap this up. I don't think I'm going to be discussing politics really again anytime soon. I've pretty much have said everything that I think is productive to say on it. Um, oh, I guess I do have one final word to all of the people out there who are so extremely upset about Donald Trump winning and you're protesting or you're wasting your time crying or whatever the fuck you're doing. If you actually want to make a positive change, I have an idea. How about instead of whining about it, complaining about it, or protesting about it, you actually get off your ass and you do something like, you know, form some sort of a political movement, take action, run for office if you think you can do better, right? Do something. Don't just sit around and whine. Join a political, action group of some sort. Do something. Do something with your life. Anyway, that's pretty much going to wrap this up. I'd really be interested to hear what you guys think. Try to keep it as civil as possible, please. Anyway, as always, I hope you guys enjoyed watching. Thanks a whole lot for watching, and I'll catch you guys next time.